Well, we told WOTC to put fetch lands in Modern Horizons to make it have some sort of value. Well, careful what you wish for. Welcome back yet again to an MTG Daily with your friend here and now, King. That's right, I'm here to talk to you guys again about day 2 of my coverage of the MTG Modern Horizons spoiler season. So, the remaining episodes, just so you know, I am just going to cover some of the top billing cards that I feel are going to be interesting within Modern and interesting within the set as a limited series. So I'll be doing that for the remainder of the rest of the spoiler season. You're welcome to check out the remainder of the cards that are going to be in the set, and I will link down below MTG Spoiler, Mythic Spoiler MTG Salvation that you can go to, take a look at, and review the rest of the cards that have been so far leaked or released, pre-released for us to view. But I'm not going to cover every single one unless it's something really kind of crazy out there that's definitely going to be in Modern, or I feel is going to have an interesting impact within one of the different formats. With that being said, let's jump right into like what the intro talked about, which is the lands. Let's start off with Prismatic Vista, which is that callback right there to fetch lands. We now have a colorless based fetch land, in my opinion. It's a fetch land that just goes for any type of basic land card. It's actually really pretty good. It's versatile. It'll be used in Modern. This will be probably one of the more headliner value land cards in the set. I would expect value running between probably $20 and $30 at the most for this specific type of card. Printed at rarity of a rare. I think it's a pretty good card. It's really balanced. I can't see it going super high value like the other actual real fetch lands would go for, because those can go for dual lands. They can go for shock lands. They can go for pretty much anything. This can only go for basics. So it's kind of more of a glorified common fetch type land, except for this one actually puts it onto the battlefield untapped, which is pretty convenient. Continuing on into that, they did release today 3 additional new lands for this set. First one being is Fiery Isle, which is really kind of cool. It's Izzet colors, red, blue, pay 1 life and tap it, or tap it, pay a life and add a blue or red to your mana pool. So it's hollering back to some of the pain lands that are currently in Modern, but in a way, these, in some cases, people are saying these are structurally better because you can pay 1, tap it, sack it, and draw a card. There is some broken parts to that because you can utilize Crucible of Worlds with that and kind of abuse this with the land, especially if you're running a deck that's running Crucible Worlds. So Amulet Titan, things like that, or Amulet Bloom, Amulet Titan, anything that runs the lands and stuff and it uses the Crucible of Worlds, these will be actually really pretty good with. In addition to Fire Isle, we also had Sunbaked Canyon and Nurturing Peatland. All of them in enemy colors, all of them really kind of interesting. Nothing really to write home about here for these specific rare lands. They're not quite as interesting as like Prismatic Vista, and definitely not as interesting as if they were to give us actual fetch lands. However, they're adequate enough. I don't think that these will go above $5 to $10 a piece. I just don't see it. I think they'll sit around that value unless they're scarcely printed. If printing on this goes short, then maybe you might see something like that. However, I highly doubt it. With that being said, let's go on into the reprints that I feel are the most notable to me. Starting off with the Diabolic Edict. Actually, this is a really good black card coming into Modern. This is, 2 instant speed creature removal that forces my opponent to sacrifice a creature. It's actually really pretty good, pretty powerful. heavily used in Pauper. It's glad it's getting another good reprint, and it's now available in everything but Standard. In Standard, this card would be, in my opinion, a little too powerful for the format. However, with War of the Spark having jumped the power level so much, I can't see that this card being more powerful than some of the cards that are currently in Standard. So, but it is actually a really pretty good card. I'm excited to see this in there, and I've been noticing that they've been putting flavor texts in here of cards that of Planeswalkers I don't think are going to be in the set. I said yesterday that typically speaking, when they show Planeswalkers quotes, usually you see the Planeswalker in the set. I'm pretty sure they're not printing Ob Nixilis because nothing from the current Standard or Modern meta is going to be printed into this, either as a reprint or a new print. This is supposed to be apparently all brand new cards, and this is not one of them. Ob Nixilis I don't think will be in here, but it is a good card nonetheless. Very excited about it. Next up is Fact or Fiction. This, yet again, is going to be another good card to be picked up in probably Storm, as well as any type of control deck. It's a usable card. So for 1 blue, 3 colorless, it reveals the top 5 cards of your library. Opponent separates those cards into 2 piles. Put 1 pile in your hand and the other into your graveyard. So this works perfectly for many of the types of like quote wish decks and whatnot. It's a good and competent instant speed blue card. Next up, Flusterstorm. And holy cow, when they said they're going to give us Storm back, I did not expect them to pull a commander card and reprint that into Modern. Like, this, in my opinion, is probably one of the more headliner-based cards. And I'm actually really excited about this. This is really going to more than likely change things in Modern, in my opinion. This is a really good card. I think this is actually better than them giving us Counterspell. It's more balanced in a way. Counterspell, 2 blue and just counters anything, is really pretty powerful in Modern. It's really fast. This is a little bit slower to an extent. However, it's still really pretty powerful, and that Storm ability does count off of how many cards your opponent played in the turn as well. So it's a good card. So this can actually be something that can cause some issues for your opponent early, mid, and late game. I like it. I'm excited for it to be in Modern, and I'm excited to watch this card go up in value now, because if you're a speculator, this is actually one you jump on right now and hold on to, because now that it's outside of Legacy and now available in Modern as well, it's going to be a card that'll be going up in price. Next up is going to be, I would have to say, my favorite reprint so far. My most favorite reprint, because I love this card. Its power level is, in my opinion, really high, and it's just a really good card. You might laugh at me, but this card did some pretty crazy things back when I played Magic during the time when it was originally in Magic. That's Spore Frog. Spore Frog's really, really good. This is Fog on a stick. I get a 1-drop, 1/1 creature that can swing for damage, and when he's no longer useful, if my opponent swings at me, I just sack him out and I don't die. This card is very versatile, very good, and I'm really happy that they kept the original artwork. So I'm really happy to see this little dude in Modern, and I'm really excited to see the different type of applications that he'll be utilized for. I'm pretty sure he'll be picked up for decks. Pretty sure. Definitely in Turbo Fog, and definitely pretty much in any deck that needs to be able to have a creature that also provides you with some form of protection. He's very, very good. Now moving on to the Force cards. Now I broke these up into a little bit separate category within my notes here, because I've now noticed that they're not just printing a new alternative Force of Will, they're printing cards that are Force ofs in the set. Looks like they're going to be one in every color. Over the last few days, we had the green and the black one released to us. So let's start off with the green one, because that arrived first. And that's Force of Vigor, a 4-drop card that says it's 2 green, 2 colorless, and its abilities destroy up to 2 target artifacts and or enchantments. And its added ability is, if it's not your turn, you may exile a green card from your hand rather than pay the spell's mana cost. Really pretty good. This will slow down artifact decks. This will slow down Tron. This will slow down, like, pretty much anything that's running colorless right now and running artifacts in Modern, which is relatively a good 40% of the meta right now has some form of artifacts in their deck that are pretty powerful. So this card I'm actually excited to see. It's really good. We'll see where it goes. I don't know if it's going to be super high value, but it's definitely sideboard tech. It's definitely one of or two of in the main board as well, possibly. So it does have a home. It does have a spot that I think people will be able to utilize it for. The next card that's a force is the Black Force, and it's Force of Despair. Now, I put it up here with its translation because it was released in Russian, or in Cyrillic. So the artwork, pretty cool artwork. I love Seb McKinnon. His artwork is par none right now. Some of my favorite artwork coming out from him. I'm really excited about this one. It looks good as well. Now, this one's 2 black, 1 colorless. And it's an instant speed that says destroy all creatures that entered the battlefield this turn. And if it's not your turn, exile a black card from your hand rather than pay its mana cost. And that's a May ability. That's a May effect. So like this is actually a really pretty good card. I do see this card being utilized in Modern. It's another version. It's a black version of Settle the Wreckage, and in my opinion, I think a little bit better because it doesn't find itself being dependent on your opponent having attacked you, although it does have its own dependencies in regards to you have to have creatures enter the battlefield during this time, which is kind of a challenge. I mean, if your opponents aren't playing, this card is useless unless they are actually playing creatures. So it's balanced. I'll be interested to see where it goes in Modern. I think it will be picked up, and I think it will be tinkered with and be used as one of those cards that people do want to use and see become successful in the Modern format. Next up are just the remainder of the cards that I feel that will have an effect in mana and in Modern, and not even just in Modern, but also that are one of them. The first one here is actually a pseudo reprint. So we originally had Astral Slide and Onslaught, and it's a 3-drop, 1 white, 2 colorless that says whenever a player cycles a card, you may remove target creature from the game, and if you do, return that creature into play under its owner's control at the end of turn. Yeah, it's an okay card from that set, but Astral Drift is a functional, far better reprint. It's the same thing as Astral Slide, except for you have cycling for 1 white, 2 colorless, and it adds in there whenever you cycle Astral Drift or cycle another card while Astral Drift is on the battlefield. You get the same effect. This card is pretty good. I think that it's one of those contingent cards that cycling can be done at instant speed, so it does slow your opponent down for a turn. I think it does give you an advantage. So I think it might be picked up. It might be played with in some decks, probably somewhere in the Prison Lock decks, maybe. I'm just not sure. I think it will be. I just don't know where. I have a feeling that this card will actually might be one of those hidden gems, possibly. Don't quote me on it yet. I haven't gone full on baddie for wanting to buy them, so I'm thinking that it might pick up some popularity, possibly, especially in fringe decks. It'll be interesting to see what happens with it. Next up is Icefang Kotal. This I'm actually really excited about. It's a 2-drop 1/1 flyer with flash. But that ain't all. It also has an ETB effect of drawing a card. So when it enters the battlefield, you draw a card. So at instant speed, I get a 1/1 flying flash snake creature. Snow creature, by the way. So a flash flying 1/1, instant speed 1/1 blocker, and I also get it also has replacement with it, so I get the draw card for having lost it out of my hand. Oh, and by the way, as long as I control 3 other snow permanents, it also has Death Touch. So if I have 2 snow permanents on the battlefield, so 2 snow lands, and this card is in my hand and my opponent swings with a big giant creature, not only can I flash him in with a flyer, so even if he's got a flyer, not only can I flash him in and block that flyer, I will kill it and I get the draw card. This card has value. This card will be a good card. This is kind of similar to Baleful Strix to an extent. I'm actually very excited about this card to see what will happen with it. I think it will maintain some type of value, and I think it will be picked up and played and tested with pretty frequently within Modern. Next up is Munitions Expert. Every Goblin player is going to want this card. It's a 1/1 for 2 flash card that allows that when it enters the battlefield, it has an ETB that when it comes into the battlefield, you have it. You may also. So it's not going to force you to kill one of your own creatures. So if nothing's on the battlefield and you don't really want to use the ability, you don't have to, which is really, really good. That's powerful. So you may have it deal damage to target creature or planeswalker equal to the number of goblins you control, which is good. It's basically a 2-drop 1/1 flash instant speed removal with a 1/1 attached that you can swing with or block with as well. So this is, I've always loved flash creatures because, especially ones that give you an ETB ability like this, that, you know, I get a creature afterwards that can block and I also get to enter the battlefield effect. Really, really nice to have. It's versatile. I have multiple functions for it in the game, and it allows me to be a little bit, kind of a level above my opponent in a way. Next one is Scour All Possibilities. And I'll be honest, I really got pissed when I saw this card. They banned Preordain. Preordain is the exact same thing as this, except for no flashback, and it cost 1 colorless less. Preordain is scry 2, then draw a card. This is that. They just made another mana to it, and they gave it flashback. This card, I am calling it now, this card will get itself banned. This card will be heavily played, and it will be banned. Because that's why Preordain was banned. Because scrying first and drawing a card, especially when you scry 2, is extremely powerful. Serum Visions is not banned because you draw first, then scry 2. This card got removed because of the fact that scry comes first. I'm not happy about this card. I'm unimpressed by the fact that Wizards decided to give us a better functional reprint that gives me a late game mana sink that allows me to draw a card and scry 2 first. It's obscene, it's stupid, and it's overpowered. This is really bad play on Wizards' end. I think they should not have done this, and this just gives anything in control way more power. And they were trying so hard to remove control for a while, and now they're just giving them more and more and more to work with. It's stupid and it's outrageous. So before we get into the last 2 cards I want to cover, I just want to say, you know, you guys are awesome. I really appreciate the feedback that you've been all giving to me. I've been working on trying to get my mic. That I have a portable mic that I take with me when I do some of my recordings because I can't record all the time at my home in my studio. So I have a little portable studio that I take with me. So please let me know what you guys think of the sound quality, what you think of the layout or anything like that. I love that type of feedback. And if you're worried about your stuff not showing up right away on any videos, it's because I pre-scan all of the messages that come into me so that nothing inappropriate hits the floor. I don't want to get hit by YouTube. Even comments within those sections can cause issues with your stuff being picked up or anything like that. So I just, you know, want to let you guys know I do see your messages. It might take an extra day for it to pop up there or so, but I try to respond back every single time. It also forces me to read what you guys are saying, to see what you're saying, and to interact with you. Because I really want to interact with everyone, and I really love being able to have that conversation with people and be able to give them a like or to pin that comment to something that I have. So I'm really excited about that. But let's move on to these final 2. The final one, the first one before the final one, is Giver of Runes. I'm excited about this card. It's a Mother of Runes. It's a Mother of Runes, except for it allows you to be able to provide a creature with protection from colorless. That's really pretty powerful. I'm excited about this card. It's definitely something that Soul Sisters can use. I'll be interested to see what it does and where it goes. So, you know, I'm impressed with it, and I think Modern will pick it up. It's going to be a fringe card, definitely, when it comes down to the Tier 2 and 3 decks. That's typically where Soul Sisters sits. So this will definitely find a home in Soul Sisters between a 2 and 4, half a playset to a full playset within the deck. I play Soul Sisters, so I definitely am going to find a home for it because this is actually a really pretty good card for that deck and does help it out quite a bit. The only thing I wish is this was a human instead of a core cleric. If it was a human, this card would be even more powerful. It would have value in the humans deck. It'd have value in Soul Sisters. It'd have value in quite a few different decks. But other than that, it's a very good 1-drop, 1/2 that you can tap it and provide protection from any color or colorless to any creature that you control. That's awesome. It's really, really good. Now, the final card is Holy Balls, powerful. Really, really good. Very good card. And it's the first time we get to see a true legend in the world, and the mythos and the everything within Magic the Gathering. And that's Urza, Lord High Artificer. Now, this card is just balls to the walls, nothing but pure power. This card is really, 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 really good. I am overly impressed with it. It's a 2 colorless, 2 blue, 1/4 that enters the battlefield with an additional creature coming behind it. That's a 0/0 colorless construct artifact, mind you, creature token. With this creature gets +1/+1 for each artifact you control. So automatically it's coming into play as a 1/1 at minimum. More than likely this card's dropping down and is more than likely going to be like a 2 or 3 or 4/4 that comes with a 1/4 as well. That you have Urza's additional ability that says tap an untapped artifact you control and add a blue mana to your mana pool. That's powerful. That's super mana ramp. That's obscene. And I am just like floored by the fact that they have that on this card. And then they add in, oh, hey, let's do it where you can pay 5, shuffle your library, exile the top card, and then until end of turn, you may play that card without paying its mana cost. So for 5, you get a free card. Yes, please. This card is going to be valuable. It's going to be played in Modern, and everyone's going to want it. I have a bad feeling that this card might even get banned because it is that powerful. I don't like the fact that the 5 and shuffle your library part is in there because that just opens up a gateway for cheaters just to take advantage of cheating and people who are not aware of what's going on. So I'm worried about that. This card's going to be great in Commander. It's going to be great in Modern. It's going to be picked up in Legacy. This will be the card in this set that will probably easily maintain a $30 to $100 card value. It's going to be very, very, very high value in here. So I'm floored that they gave us Urza. I love the fact that they gave us Urza, but I'm floored that they made him as powerful as he is. The only other thing that would have made him more powerful was let's have you receive an official Urza Planeswalker that's playable in Modern or Legacy, and yeah, that would have just been beyond powerful. Well, everyone, those are the cards that I covered for this week, for this episode. And if you think that I should have covered some other ones, go ahead and let me know down below. Provide me with some feedback. I love hearing it. I love reading it. I love being able to communicate with you guys, and I look forward to seeing any comments that you guys that all of you put out down there for me. I love hearing that. Oh, and let me know what you think about the voice. If it's a little bit stronger tonight, if it's a little bit louder. Let me know if I need to turn things down or anything like that, because the more feedback that I get to be able to improve these videos, the better, because I want to give you good quality content. And with that being said, make sure you like and subscribe the channel. That helps me grow. That helps the shows and the videos that I do get better, because that shows me that what I'm doing is being appreciated. It shows the channel that you guys are liking the channel, that you're enjoying the channel. Liking and subscribing really helps us out. And make sure to check us out. Check out the other videos that are on the channel. I have a few other MTG Dailies that are out there, as well as super fast deck techs, some of which I'm going to be doing some more of those soon once I get a little bit more time on my hand. So, check that out. Check out all the live shows that we've done for Opening Hand, even Conjecture and Into the Stars. Those are all other good shows as well. So, I just want to tell you guys, really do appreciate you coming out here. Check out the links down below as well, and y'all have a great night. Thank you so much for coming out to MTG Daily. This has been King, and you are all absolutely wonderful people.